Hey, Coyote.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Do you know if this is where we're meeting for the
I
kickoff?
assume this is where we're meeting, but not 100% positive. So I mean, this is where we met yesterday, right? This is the channel we were in, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
this is where we were. Yeah, we were in here yesterday.
It doesn't specifically say in the announcements post. But yeah, I would assume this is the place.
Alright.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey,
Kane.
well, y'all. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm running just a tiny bit late. Because of some pizza troubles. Let's see here. But give me like 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Pizza trouble's the worst.
yeah, yeah. No. I'm literally just parking my car right now, and then once I park my car, I'm gonna be getting back to the venue and then setting everybody up. So I would say it's gonna take like 10 minutes or so.
Alright. Sound good?
Is everybody excited though? We're about to get started.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
What's that?
Star is far away. Of course.
All right, I'll be back, y'all.
This is why I'm eating dinner right now.
Alrighty.
My name's Jake. I'm a software developer. As far as game dev, no, this is the only game dev I really want to. Struggling with it myself. I need to figure it out.
Это канал звукового сопровождения программы «Орбита 3» Центрального телевидения. Это канал звукового сопровождения программы «Орбита 3» Центрального телевидения.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm streaming. I'm gonna have you all on camera in the background, all right?
Right on.
Well, if you don't, you know. All right. Woo. Lots of setup, man. Good Lord. But we're doing good here. Let's see here. Yeah. So in order for me to play music, I have to see if we have a speaker in here, and then I can only play it from my laptop. I need to use it.
You want me to play music?
Hey, yeah, go and play some music, brother. Yeah, man. Should drop some lo-fi on us. Yeah. Alrighty. All right, I'm gonna get us started all here. How's everybody doing right now?
Not too bad. Excited.
Good. All right, so here's how this is gonna work, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the kickoff video. It's gonna be like a 1-minute video. We're gonna peep it real quick. I'm streaming to y'all. You know, double check with the sound and all that before we actually watch the whole thing. And then after we watch the whole thing, we're gonna go ahead and take 15 minutes to go through a Miro board, and I'm gonna send y'all a link to a Miro board. You'll all will be able to click on it. And then when you click on it, it'll take you to this thing where you'll be able to see like everybody else's mouse on there. We can take 15 minutes, and then brainstorm on what ideas you all have. And then we'll come back after that 15 minutes and overlook all those ideas. Not overlook and not like completely forget them, you know, that would miss the point. Like look over all of them and, you know, try to combine some of them, try to like draw some parallels between some of them, and maybe we can get some teams going. I mean, for real, like how do y'all feel? Do we want to do teams? Do each of you here want to you know, work by yourselves? Like, let's talk about that first.
So just to throw this out there, I am not sure. Like, I'm super excited to do the board and see what everyone's ideas are, see if I could contribute to one, but I don't know if I'm not 100% sure I could be the main programmer for a team, so I might, you know, if someone else wants to take the lead on that and needs like some support programming wise, I could maybe offer that. It really depends, but I'm probably thinking I might do solo, and like unless there's like a smaller role I could fill with less responsibility, basically.
Gotcha. Yeah, we'll need a way to split. Let's see. Ada will be working on her own. Okay. Let's see
I
here.
mean, I set my parameters already, but keep in mind that, multiple people can't exactly work on their own, and we'll need to collaborate.
Right. So right now, really only Ada and Coyote. That's a killer name.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the camp of not being able to complete a game by myself, but would love to be part of a team.
Okay. And then, you know what? We have very little people here. We might need to adjust. So, I know there is one programmer here. I don't like. What do y'all? How do y'all all feel about looking into just working with each other?
I'd be down for whatever. How many? So who in here is a programmer other than me?
Phil's a programmer.
I'm a
Yeah, me
programmer.
and Phil. Okay.
I can throw stuff into Unity that is audio related, although as I said, the degree to which I'm participating is probably not going to be huge. But I can.
Okay.
Do you want to do stuff related to audio and specifically related to audio?
Okay. So do the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the 5 of you want to just make your game together?
So.
Let's see what our game could be first.
Yeah. Let's maybe kick some ideas around first. But like,
Also, I
we can start
really
with
should back away
brainstorming and all
from being
that.
committed because I'm not.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. Like, we can still do the video, still do the brainstorm. Spend our 15 minutes and then, bring ideas together. Because I'm just thinking, if all of you want to go ahead and do it that way and just work together, then it'd be simple. After we do the 15 minutes, then the goal will be to split it up into just like one, like just to take one idea out of like maybe a collection of ideas rather than trying to like make a group of ideas. So yeah. So what are we thinking? Are we thinking we'll still split up you all into different teams, or we'll do 2 solo and then the rest of them will be working together? Which one?
I don't know. Let's get some ideas down, and then we'll see.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'm not necessarily participating, but at the same time, let's see what the topic is first.
Yeah, don't even know the theme.
Let's see the video.
Okay, sounds good. All right. All right, we'll continue this conversation possibly later then. I'll go ahead and get us set up with the video.
Also, like I've only really worked with Unity. I know Coyote, you've worked with like Game Maker, right? Have you worked with any other engines or just that one?
I'm much better with Unity than the last time we did something like this. I've come a long way in Unity, probably still not as good as you are, but Game Maker's my main engine. I can definitely help out with Unity, so if we do end up just being one team and you need like sort of a supplemental programmer or like a level designer or something, whatever, I can certainly help out with that stuff in Unity. I'm familiar enough with it.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started with the video right now. Oh wait, you know what? I need to share application. All right, everybody can see?
Yeah. Oh, I can. Can't speak for everybody.
I can also see.
Okay. All right. We got people seeing. Okay. How about hearing? You hear this?
Yes, I am getting audio.
Yep.
All right, getting audio. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start this off. We're gonna watch this for the minute and a half, about, and then come back. Can anybody guess? Kind of giving you hints right now.
No idea.
We're getting hints.
It's obviously zebras.
Real talk.
Sorry, I'm dense. I'm completely lost.
Whatever you want.
I mean, I'll say at the end.
Nerves, maybe? No. Lines.
Actually, I'm thinking about lines.
Like plant? They're like, no, that looks like hair.
Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
roots. Yeah, that's probably it.
Roots.
Yeah, you got it.
There we go.
Roots. Okay,
Yes, sir.
interesting.
Yep. So that's it, right? Okay. I'm trying to be quiet and not actually say the theme right now because I got people behind me that I know
Yeah.
are reveal for later, right? Okay, so with that, where is the mural board? I'm going to go ahead and send out a link to this. Let's see, share the board. Oops. Hello. Oh, whoops. And edit. Invite team. All right, let's do team. There we go. That should be it. My man Lucas said apples.
I gotta step away for like quick 5 minutes. Maybe less. But don't feel free to keep going. Like coming up with ideas.
Yeah, we'll keep going because I gotta
Right.
move on with the process here.
Yep, no, totally understand.
All right, cool. All right, Lucas said you're a grenade for hire. Okay, so are we all on Nero board?
I am signing in.
Yeah, looks like I have to create an account, so working on it.
All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's see here. Yeah, buddy.
All right, looks like I am in.
All right, yeah. I see we got a Jess in here. We got Lucas. Heart lamp.
Art Lamp is me. I really need to consolidate. I have so many screen names.
Oh, you're right. You need to pick one, bro.
I think on the jam site I am Weeping Rupee. On here I am Heart Lamp, and in Discord I am Coyote Friend.
What are you doing? It's all good though. We're not too confused. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Let's see here. And then Phil is away.
Oh boy.
Hey, what's up, Floyd?
Hi. I think I got in a little late.
Yeah, you did. No problem. No, you can go ahead and join the Miro board. Hey, Tom.
Okay, what's
Yo.
what's the thing?
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna type the thing.
Okay.
All right.
Good. I think Floyd was the only one in yesterday when I accidentally spoiled it. So,
Ironically, I mentioned, yeah.
so glad you missed it yesterday too.
All right. Completely missed it. Right. All right. Yeah. All right. Nothing crazy going on. How you
Okay,
doing, Tom?
unscrewed.
Awesome.
You're kind of glued here.
Okay, yeah, Tom, we're using your method that we did last year, with the mural board, and then we're gonna,
Oh, great.
yeah, go through some ideas. I'm gonna make it 10 minutes, now,
Oh crap!
because
I mean, we'll shoot. Where is it?
all right, so
Hmm.
all right, I'm gonna say that everybody's in right now, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up, right? So we're gonna 10 minutes brainstorm, all right? Then we're gonna come back, talk about the ideas, and talk about who is going to team with what idea, okay?
Okay.
So it is 7:02. So at 7:13, right? Between 7:02 and 7:13, we're gonna go ahead and brainstorm ideas. Think about your own ideas, what you think about in terms of theme, and then 7:13 we'll stop, come back, and look at what y'all write. All right.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. All right.
All right, Red.
Cool.
So it looks like somebody has already written down a couple of questions, a couple of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some post-it notes right here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can like copy and paste these.
Ooh, gotcha.
Yeah, take some of those.
Do you post images on this thing?
Yes. You can like copy and paste them in, I believe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, people enjoy this. I'm gonna mute my mic because I'm pretty sure y'all can hear everybody.
Yeah, I'm digging the book puzzle idea. That's pretty neat.
Getting out of hair. I like hair as a concept for this theme.
Just trying to be random. Roots.
This is the theme video. Is there anywhere I can watch it to get caught up?
Is it in the chat? It's not in the chat we streamed it. I think I can find it. I actually.
They should have it in Global Game Jam, right?
Oh, is it on the site? Do they have it up on the site?
I feel like they did.
It's been on their YouTube channel. I accidentally got spoiled on it like a week ago. It just came up in my YouTube feed.
Yeah.
So it's definitely on their YouTube.
One of these videos.
All right, I'll go look for it real quick.
Okay, great.
I'll post this link to help you get started. Like this.
Thank you.
Boop. In the chat. I just don't know which one of these videos it is. I think it's the one. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. It says theme reveal. It is YouTube. So if you want to be more accurate, let's do.
I put the YouTube one in there, although it's got the keynote in there too, so it's probably longer than the one we actually watched.
Yeah, do whatever.
Is it?
We're more than ready.
Oh, I like this idea of splitting the root like into sort of a fractal pattern or something like that.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of roots as a physical thing, right? They're splitting into several paths, and they are potentially carrying something from one place to another.
Well,
yeah, I just started watching The Last of Us on HBO, and
me too.
the thought of like messages traveling through the root system like is interesting too.
Oh man, every idea I have is like way too big for every game jam that I'm in.
It reminded me of.
That's true.
Pseudo Game of
Hats. This is only 48 hours too, so.
I'm still going to put my way too dumb big idea in anyway, though.
Absolutely, do it.
Totally, yeah.
Holy crap. Oops. I should probably make my keyboard strokes.
What about a root beer making simulator?
Root beer is the best kind of soda.
That's funny.
And nominally, taste-wise, maybe the best beer.
Could be.
Do we have anyone with the toothpaste taste of a root beer? Because that's me. I can't drink it because it tastes like toothpaste.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. How about cilantro? Does it taste like soap?
No, I love cilantro.
Good, thank goodness.
It's just root beer tastes like mouthwash to me.
Wow, crazy.
Or toothpaste.
Kind of amazing if those two things were like caused by the same gene.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Be better if the root beer tasted like cilantro. That'd be nice and weird. I mean, nice and herbal that way too.
All right, now we got a game, Alex. Root beer that tastes like cilantro.
That's nice. A speakeasy that only serves root beer.
Hey, maybe maybe in the game universe, root beer has been made illegal. There's a root beer prohibition.
Yes, it's in Prohibition era, and you have to. People are coming in looking to get messed up, and you need to just pour random things into your, to your distiller, and
So
see what it
turns
does to
into
them.
A stealth bar game. A stealth bar game where you gotta secretly serve root beer.
Yeah.
So it's part stealth game and part tapper. That might be out of scope for the jam.
Well, the tapper aspect is certainly doable in the time available.
Yeah, there's definitely some aspects you could take from some of these sort of bigger ideas and do a smaller version of in 48 hours. Tennis, Chris.
Okay.
I do like the sort of dark take that whoever wrote the childhood roots thing, like and just like the more like non-literal version of roots, you know, like returning to your roots. Okay, I got one.
Yeah. Not the evil magic.
Alrighty, y'all. So
Yeah,
everybody put your mouse cursors down. All right. Yes, I'm hilarious. Flash more. All right. So next part of the process, Tom is actually going to take over. I'm going to focus on in-person stuff, but Tom, we're doing basically the same thing that Tom did last year, so he'll be able to run through ideas with y'all and help y'all make channels for whatever decisions that you decide to make, and you'll be able to communicate that way, right?
hey, thanks, Keenan.
Yeah, no problem. All right. Hopefully everybody's clear, and everybody's got questions. You already know you can ask Tom, and I'll be checking back in once I can get things figured out here. And, not figured out, but just like get things clear. All right.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Tom. I'll chill in here.
Yeah, go for it. Sorry, I'm also trying to put together all kinds of announcements and things and get us ready to go. My Miro is upset because it wants me to sign in, which I have. Let me do this really quickly. And we'll go over what we got in the Miro. Yeah. Oh my god, oh my god. Alright. What do we got? We gotta finish this tree, wait. That's first order of business. We can't have like a half-made tree here. Everyone come up and finish the tree. We can
Leave
do
the
like
tree.
No, a little
The tree must remain.
See, I can't do the leaves because I've the reddish orangish. I'm clearly the bark colored pen
Well, let's
here.
use some texture. It needs I think it should use. I think we can have like some cool shading here. I like how this is becoming literally like the draw the owl.
Yeah.
Draw the owl thing. I
There we go.
don't know if this will be worthy of putting on like a YouTube tutorial on how to do art, but I think it's really nice.
Nice mood
Alright.
setter.
Yeah, we gotta get the juices going somehow, right? Let's just kind of. I like y'all are very organized with like the post-it note, the sticky note kind of design. Very organized. Very I like that. So just throwing some stuff out. We got roto rooting, break up roots, clogging pipes. We got the randomness, getting out of hair. Platform escape, meet up, multiplayer. Ooh. Something like Tetris, but with a tree at the top, and instead of tetraminos, I think that's how you say that, you're throwing water on some squares or tiles to cause them to grow in different ways. Oh, interesting. So it'd be like, instead of them falling, they're like growing.
Yeah, to maybe get to the bottom or something.
Oh, interesting. We got a multiplayer game where one player is making connections between roots and other players are at a fixed position trying to send messages through the roots. The game would be a hidden information / communication based game where players are making decisions based off incomplete information. I love hidden information games. I did a whole like study on that when I was in college. Very, very cool stuff.
Right on, so
Yeah,
did
like a game of
I.
telephone. Oh, there you go. Like a game of telephone. Yeah, very cool. Sort of maze dungeon going through tree roots, like this spooky old tree. Definitely could make a cool setting for sure. I love the idea of visually going through roots. Roots are like a really weird thing when you like sit and think about it. You're just like sucking up stuff, like water and stuff, like out of the ground. It's kind of disturbing if you think about like the mechanics. Anyway, childhood roots. Adventure returns home to small town. Adventure point and click. Tangled roots, corrupted roots, dark town or dark secrets in the town. A huge tree in the town square sacrificed to dark gods. Oh my god, it can go dark here. Hidden cavern beneath trees. Parents turn out to be evil priests. Woof! Wow. There's some stuff to unpack in some roots there. Yeah, you can certainly take it narrative. It's interesting. So there's so many ways you can take it, right? You can take it environmentally, like setting wise, being roots. You can take it narratively. You can take it mechanically. You can abstract it and have it be like a way of like communicating or something. You can take it so many ways. Let's see what else we got. Walk around as seed and plant root places. You make plants. You make platforms rise and give access to other areas. Definitely. As a side note, I've always said one of my dreams is that we develop some technology in the future where we can become like these plant people, and we can just like, instead of going out for lunch or something, can just go like stick our feet in a bunch of mud and like sit in the sun and get all of our nutrients like a plant. I'm ready for like inject the chlorophyll in my body. I'm ready. Anyway, that's my.
He's gonna become the first clicker from Last of Us.
I was just gonna say that's like the alternate ending.
Isn't that kind of nice? Like the idea of just being able to get your, well, I don't know, clickers like are not very nice. Did they,
a nice clicker, all right.
Well, they eat people and stuff, right? They're basically zombies, right?
Yeah, they're zombies.
So imagine they're not zombies though, and like, yeah, they might not look very attractive in a conventional sense. But what if like they just got their energy from the sun? Wouldn't that be nice?
What if they were just our really ugly friends?
What if the plants were the zombies?
Oh,
God. So I posted the diversifiers in the Game Jam chat, by the way.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm. By the way, can anyone see? There's probably not like a post in there right now, but I made a Global Game Jam announcements channel that's like right above the Game Jam channel. Can you all at least see that?
It is visible.
I might not. Okay, so as long as it's visible, I have like a big post that I've been writing.
I can edit the channel name, but not actually posting it. That's great.
Yeah, I haven't. I duplicated the channel from last year, and now I'm just putting stuff in there. But I'll finish doing that after this. Let me finish going through some of these things. I think I got through. Wait, did I get through that one? Yes. Path game. Everyone tries to not bump into each other's roots as much as possible. What is this? Is Suro? What is this? TSURO? I don't think I've heard that.
It's actually a board game. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
It's a path game, and in that game you actually have to, I think you have to be the last one going through your path. If you cross into somebody else's path, then both of you get knocked out.
Interesting. Yeah, there's you could do a lot with like roots as just the way that they grow and everything as like a spatial challenge. That's very interesting. I always wonder like, how do roots? I mean, they're just kind of weird. The more I think about them, the more like aesthetically, they're like these little tentacles that just go and suck nutrients out of like dead things. Anyway, you can do interesting things with like with spatial aspects of that for sure. Something like The Last of Us with root zombies. There you go. Except, see, I would like it if they were just friends. Friendly plant zombies that don't eat people. They just. What if they're a zombie because they eat like other plants? What do you think about that? Root beer mafia. You run an underground root beer shop, and competing root beer mafias try to do something. Get pretty intense. Speakeasy is under a tree mixed in with the roots. Addendum: a speakeasy that sneaks banned root beers to its secret customers. Root beer that actually turns people into roots. Oh my god. It's like Snake Pass, except you play as the root, and then the main mechanic is that you split the root into two separate branches. That'd be interesting. Would you continue then controlling like both branches?
That's a wonderful question. I think I was thinking maybe you can control two at a time, and with one with each stick if you're playing with the controller. But then I don't know what happens if you want to split one of your splits. I hadn't really thought that much about it.
what if it's just a mirror modifier that keeps like adding on to, like, you split it, but now you have to watch two ends, but they both do the same thing, but you have to watch both of them.
That's not a bad idea. Or like you could invert the X or Y of like the direction could be like off by like 180 degrees, right? So you press left on the stick and the one goes left and one goes right, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not a bad idea.
Lose the game if you run into yourself. And you have a certain amount of time to cover as much area as you can.
Ooh.
Go for the high score.
Yeah, very, very much. I mean, going back to like classic Snake.
Yes, exactly.
I used to play on my little not smartphone, but like a flip phone or something. But it's branching off. Very interesting. Yeah, so it sounds like we have, again, a cool mix of takes, right? We have like mechanical, where it's either trying to use actually controlling routes or like use the concept of a route for the mechanics. That seems to kind of be even something like this almost like reverse Tetris or something. That seems to revolve around like space, the use of space, or somehow like spatially managing the position of your routes. That seems to be kind of a common theme amongst the mechanic take of this. It's really cool, really interesting. We talked about some narrative interpretations of roots. Where it's looking at, like a character's roots, hometown roots. There's certainly the word root is like just a very I think it's a very evocative word in terms of like narrative, and in terms of using it as an inspiration for story. So I could definitely see a really cool point-and-click adventure game made out of that. I could see a really cool Twine game made. It'd be really interesting. I don't know. It's probably been done using. I mean, you talk all the time about like a narrative tree, right? What if you were doing like? What if you made a branching narrative game? Where the branches were meant to, the way that you created the narrative was by actually like by trying to make it look like roots, right? I feel like that's probably been a thing that's been done, where like the actual visual layout of like a narrative pictorially represents something. That's just a random idea that popped in my head. It'd be really cool. Interesting creative constraint. So narrative is a really cool way of doing it. Certainly in terms of themes, going in like inside of roots, going inside of a tree. Do all plants have roots? Is that a thing? Or just like trees, plants, grass, like
I think there's
I
like
don't know
a
all the types of
couple.
plants.
There's like a couple of exceptions, but
What about underwater things? Do they have roots?
According to Google, basic parts of most all plants are roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. So it's probably one of those things where it's classified. It's one of the major classifiers, but you'd have to be missing several of those to not be considered a plant.
right. Because there's like those there's air plants that they just like grow. They don't have roots.
What about mushroom?
Oh, mushroom's a fungus.
True.
But taxonomy's
they're not a
weird.
plant.
Nope.
I don't trust mushrooms. I've always said I don't trust them.
That would make sense.
They're
I had
just
stuff.
weird.
I made stuffed portobello mushrooms for dinner tonight. They were good.
Big mushrooms are a plant. They're not an animal. They gotta be a plant.
Someone once told me, and I've repeated it verbatim without ever questioning it. So
The world was going to roll me. I ain't the sharpest.
No, but that evolutionarily, grass is younger than trees are. That trees came before grass, which Doesn't
I would
seem.
believe that.
I could totally see it, but
Possible,
it's
but
not the
not.
intuitive thing I would have guessed.
Yeah, so of course now we have the theme. We have some ideas flowing. We have 48 hours. Is there anyone who's feeling like really fired up about any particular idea that they'd want to explore more that's either posted here or not posted here?
Like I was saying earlier, but I'll say it again because there's way more people here now. I'm not 100% sure I could commit to being the main programmer on a game this weekend because my brother's coming to visit and I feel bad totally ignoring him. But there are some really cool ideas here. The ones that jump out at me personally that I like are like the what was the one with the game title, the Suro one, where like you're trying to like avoid bumping into each other. I think that could be combined with like a you're sending messages, hidden information kind of thing to make like a kind of neat, maybe local multiplayer thing where like you're trying to connect up. You know, there's a phase where you're growing your roots, right? And then there's a phase where you're able to send messages down what's grown to another player, and like there would be, and maybe it's, I'm not sure if it would be cooperative or competitive, but there could be a cool element of like did anyone ever play the Mario Party game mini game where it's like a bunch of pipes all parallel to each other and there's some connectors between the pipes, and you drop something in the top and it'll just follow the logical path, taking any turn that it sees, right? And the messages could do a sort of similar thing to that. That would be a really neat idea, I think. But again, like I'd love to hear what other people are interested in.
What I like about that is you could, if you wanted to make it competitive, so you're putting your lines down and say maybe like you're trying to receive, it sounds like a cool like hacker thing where it's like secret information, but you're trying to get information, you could get other people's information, so you could put their pipes or roots or something there, their lines, and say maybe at the bottom of the screen that like that's where the receivers are, but you want your team to receive it, so you can curve their line into yours to get their information and get more points.
Right, I think that would be super neat. That would be very cool.
Oh, that does sound cool.
Hacker
I don't know
roots.
if this would fit or how it would fit, but I'm just stricken with a vision of a root as like a little vacuum cleaner. And just having like a weird vacuum particle thing or something where it's just like sucking up some resource or something. I don't know. Roots as a vacuum sounds very weird.
I could totally see, like I was saying before, like the two things that jump out to me about roots mechanically as a concept, right, is they grow and make connections, and they could do something like that, right? It's like suck something up and move it from one place to another. So there's lots of cool stuff you could do with that idea.
Yeah, I like that, like thematically. Along with the hacker thing, as soon as you said that, I thought about root access to like a like an Android system or something like that. Gaining root access.
Oh yeah, that's a good that's a good like connection for a title of a game like that, right? Like
yeah. Root. like slash root or something like that.
Rootkit maybe. Rootkit is a hacker thing I've heard on Mr. Robot several times.
Yeah, the documentary, Mr. Robot.
If you want a very
Yes,
good way
yes.
for Windows to yell at you every time you try installing the game on your computer, name it rootkit.
Mhm.
No, but I really like the idea of like the roots transporting like resources, like sucking something up and moving it.
This is almost like maybe the opposite. Did anyone ever see or play the game Prune?
I have not.
Nope.
Prune game mobile long play.
I've probably seen it before. I don't think I've ever played it.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. Oh, they put it on Apple Arcade now, I guess. It's almost like I mean, it's all about a tree that is growing, and you have to cull or cut off. You have to prune certain things to make it grow in the sun. But so I mean, trees, and I assume plants are like, what is that top, like above the surface in terms of like branching off and making branches and things. I imagine is kind of similar.
It's
What's
basically
happening
like
below.
that flipped 180
Yeah.
degrees, right?
Yeah. And so in this game, you have like these roots that are like growing, and then you have to choose, okay, so I want to make this side grow taller so I can get out into the sun, and so then I can start growing flowers. That's how you like beat levels. So it's like an interesting puzzle game type thing that's basically using roots, but it seems like a lot of these ideas are about spatial management and choosing like, and these are in prune. I mean, you can do like individual branches or like individual tiny things, and it starts growing off the other way. But yeah, having finer control over like very specific individual roots sounds very interesting. But this game came to mind because it's almost like the same, but like above ground almost.
It's an interesting game. I haven't seen that one.
It's really pretty.
Really a beautiful game. Yeah, really.
It also, I think, like diegetically would maybe work even better as a puzzle game, going down instead of up, because you could have rocks and other stuff that you have to get around.
I think the idea of like spatial management and like expanding to collect resources and move them places mechanically reminds me of a base builder, but I don't have a lot of experience with base building games. Especially the being underground. Seems like a lot of base builders are underground.
I have never made a base building game. But I could totally see how something like this would fit with that, or like tower defense, or like
I've not thought much about base building games or made a base building game, but it comes to mind.
All right, so again, we have kind of a lot of ideas here. If we want to, it sounds like some people are interested in kind of interpreting this like mechanically and visually depicting routes. One interesting thing from like a technology side of things that I don't know anything about because I'm not a smart person, but I feel like programmers, if there's any programmers here, I feel like simulating or creating like a root thing feels like a programming thing that feels like a fundamental thing I don't know if that's true or not in any capacity.
That's the first thing that came to mind for me, but I didn't really get anywhere with that train. So,
like in terms of simulating, like actual like branching off of like if we were working in Unity or Unreal or like whatever game engine, in terms of actually creating a mechanic that could have these roots that can kind of move around and then start branching off from each other, like technologically speaking, does anyone have any ideas of like how to even start doing that? Because it seems like it's an art challenge and a tech challenge. That I don't know, almost like procedural art. Does anyone have like any thoughts on like how you would actually visually represent that or how you would control that?
the thought path that I went down was like some kind of character ability mechanic where you could control like how wide or long it is, but you have like a limited amount of resource for growing the roots. So like you either can like do like a small area really far or a wide area close to you. But then I didn't really like come up with anything beyond that to tie that into being an actual game.
I think it depends a lot on what the like ultimately what type of game you're trying to make, right? Like if you're doing, say you do the narrative thing, right, and you make a point and click adventure, that's you know that's a lot of assets, relatively easy program wise, right? But then if you're doing a spatial management thing, the first question to me, because first question I guess is like, is it 2D or 3D? 2D would be much easier, and then even once you go into 2D, like, do you do it tile based or do you do it more, what's the word I'm looking for, analog, like more non-tile based, basically, right? Like this game that
Right.
that you're showing here. So like
this game or pipes.
Right. Well, pipes. I would say pipes is still is more like this, but tile based, right? Like the and then for 3D, I don't know. 3D doing that sort of thing in 3D, I guess you could say the same thing except for like you're using cubes instead of tiles, and you know, the space of 3D instead of 2D, but like 3D would be a lot tougher, I think, for the mechanical aspect of like representing roots growing. So if I was going to tackle this problem as a programmer, my instinct would be to go 2D tile based, but I could also totally see a non-tile based approach to it too.
I was looking to see. I feel I've worked with the Houdini plugin stuff in Unity a little bit, but I thought they might have like some. It seems like something they would do, like some procedural art thing would be creating like roots, like 3D root things.
I've definitely seen shaders which are like, they're like grow shaders where like you give it a model beforehand that it's eventually going to grow into, and then you define the skeleton such that it grows out naturally looking. But the problem with that is like, I mean, it's not a problem necessarily depending on the game, but if you want the player to have control, have any choice about where the roots go, this is really cool. What is this?
This is Houdini. This is working on the which I think is in theory, like, again, I'm not a smart person, but like if you knew how to do this stuff, I think you could probably take some of these graphs and like either recreate them or just look at like the math and things that they're doing. It feels like I feel like creating like a growing, branching root type thing. It feels like a classic, like grad student programmer assignment. I have no idea how he would do it, but yeah, I agree. I think trying to do it in 3D would be tricky. I think even doing it, I mean, I feel like I feel like the math and like the algorithm is probably similar. I mean, there might also just be resources, right? Like if you just Google like Unity procedural root generation.
This kind of thing is a lot of vector math.
Yeah.
Everything's a lot of vector math.
Yeah.
Procedural dungeons. What if you made a dungeon that was a root? Really? We're not gonna get any hits on that?
If you change root to branch, you might get
root. Oh, I did
Yeah,
room.
branch is the common term for this kind
Oh,
of
here
thing.
we go. Yeah, maybe a branch would be like better. Branch.
Makes me think like pyro sand kind of thing, but
Zero tree generation.
That would definitely be interesting to try to do art assets for the procedural generation.
Yeah. Spawns as pulled up. I've extended it. That looks quite nice. Oh, who is this? And Mulk.
I guess maybe going back to the base building and like trying to do the procedural math stuff, it kind of makes it into like a colony sim, I guess. If you're not controlling the paths, but like you still manage resources in some capacity.
So if you want to do weird procedural shit with audio and for some reason want to actually use Fmod, you could actually just hook random parameters of the things that are procedurally generated into corresponding parameters in Fmod and control various bits of the sound, music, or whatever that way. I mean, you can obviously do that in stock Unity too. It's just I know how to do that in Fmod. So.
This looks interesting for anyone interested in this. Is space colonization an algorithm for space colonization, but it just looks like a tree. It looks like you start like this and then you give it like a guide of where you want it to go, and then you just compute towards like a thing.
It's like some kind of range for segment length, and then solve in between using those segment lengths.
The results are very realistic. Branches naturally avoid each other. Each one appears to have developed as a result of seeking sunlight. The same method can be used to create roots. Roots expand in some form of space colonization. Oh, that's what they mean. That's exactly what we're talking about is not outer space colonization, but making use of space, maximizing the use of space via branching. It seems again like that roots, mechanically speaking, would be a very heavy like spatial management mechanic, which I think is really interesting. By the way, the idea of having it be tile based, that would certainly I think make this maybe easier to try and do. I mean, it almost reminds me a little bit of like Ticket to Ride, as weird as that sounds, in terms of like how it just starts becoming like this web almost, and like branching off and doing those different paths. Yeah. Well, of course, there's 48 hours, so we don't have a huge amount of time. I love this scientific diagram. This is really nice. So yeah, I guess kind of to have some immediate like next step, I am posting a big ping to everyone in Philly Game Mechanics with a theme, and I'm going to create. I mean, we have a Game Jam channel. Should we just use that, or should I create a dedicated Global Game Jam one? What do y'all think?
Unless there's any other game jams going on right now. I don't see why you couldn't just use the one you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. So I'll just direct everyone to kind of posting and things in the game jam. If we want to use this as an opportunity now to do like formal or official, like because I think I came in a little bit late because I know that everyone was starting a little bit earlier online ahead of the 7 p.m. to do like, getting the theme reveal and stuff like that. Did everyone do introductions or kind of talk at all about like their background or what they want to do, like discipline wise or anything? Have we done that at all?
I don't think we did anything like that officially. When there's much fewer people, I think got a general idea of who was looking to work on a team versus solo, but I don't think anyone said what their discipline was or anything like that.
All right. Well, let's open this up to just everyone. Feel free to just like jump in, anyone. If you would like to work on a team or are interested in working on a team, if you just want to kind of throw out like what, and I'm always a advocate of like using these opportunities where even if you don't necessarily specialize in one thing, or if you just want to try out something different or whatever it is, like whatever you want to do in a global game jam project, if you just want to kind of like throw that out, and then we can get more familiar with like who people are and what they might want to work on. I think that would be great. I can tell you now that just to kick things off for myself, if I do make something, it will probably be a little bit solo, because I'm already working on a big work project all this weekend. Anyway, so I don't think I'll be able to commit to like a team thing, but yeah, if anyone else is interested in kind of introducing themselves and what they would want to do,
I'm putting some stickies over in the bottom left. Maybe we could just like add ourselves to like a list.
Beautiful. Yes, that is a great idea. Thank you.
For what it's worth, I'm not actually on that page at all, which is why you haven't seen any contributions from me. But I do sound design and work with FMod and Unity. I'm willing to do at least a little bit of that. And Tom, I have no idea how doing a game on your own is easier or less effort than collaborating with people. No idea whatsoever.
I can just do nonsense.
Okay, that is a good answer.
Sometimes it's easier for me to just get in and do nonsense. But yeah. Okay, cool. So music, sound effects. We got Alex. Thank you.
I'm not music. That would be.
Oh, sorry. Sound effects. All right. So let's do like 2 categories then. We'll do music and sound.
Music, I presume, is Lucas.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
I'm also not on the Miro, but I'm a pretty novice. I'm just kind of like getting into trying to do game development stuff, and I'm definitely more programming heavy than anything else. But I'm interested in exploring all aspects. I wasn't really sure how this is going to work originally, so I thought maybe that I would just be like seeing if I can make anything in 48 hours. But I'm also down to join a team and solve programming problems.
I always say that more programmers is better.
Yeah, usually.
Does it seem for anyone who is more like the development programming background, does it seem like Unity would be a good game engine to use, or are there any other tools that people would be interested in working in?
I am the one game maker guy. I think usually everyone else says Unity. I can do Unity a little bit. I've been doing it for a year now, and I have made some games in it. But Game Maker is definitely my where I cut my teeth. So
Unity's the only one I have recent experience messing with, but I did use Game Maker back in like high school when I was messing around with it.
Any brave souls want to do Unreal with me?
Then Game Maker broke all my projects because Game Maker. And I said screw Game Maker.
I do
Yeah.
game jams for two reasons. One of them is to learn, and one of them is because I kind of feel like it, and I don't have the energy to do other stuff. This is the latter, so I'm not doing anything unfamiliar.
That's my like ideal. Like I'm always torn between that. I'm like I know I should use Unity to learn more about it, but when there's other people involved, my instinct is to go with the thing that I know so that I don't disappoint people.
I mean, for what it's worth, if you're collaborating with other people on Unity, it's a thing where you can just help out where you know and not where you don't. I mean, it's not as if I know a damn thing about how to do anything with velocity in Unity. I work in Unity daily, so.
Yeah, I if you know I
Oh, was push to talk not working for that? Probably wasn't.
Oh.
We heard you.
It's just
Okay.
yeah, I'm just a klutz.
Well, it's more mobile. That.
Yeah, do we want to have anyone else introduce themselves, or I mean, I know we have what's going on in the Miro, but anyone want to just kind of say hello and introduce what their name and what they do and all that?
F it. Howdy, y'all. I'm Floyd, the the people, the more heard than seen fella. I'm a programmer that speaks C#, PD script, and the respective IDEs, Unity and Godot engine. I prefer Git to keep track of of source code revisions. I do have rudimentary capabilities in modeling and sound design.
Oh, cool.
Again, these have been proven to be rudimentary.
Hey, you just need the basics, and then you can go from there. That's what this whole experience is about. Jumping. Is anyone kind of like newish to game? I think we've heard before. Some people are like newish to game development. Anyone else? That's very exciting to me. Hearing that these opportunities are getting more people involved in game development.
It's definitely been a lifelong interest, but I only recently occurred to me to try to pursue it more seriously.
Cool. Yeah, again, game jams are like a great way of just jumping in, low stakes. There's like no pressure. It's just all about exploring and growing. So definitely welcome to anyone, all disciplines, all experience levels, all of that stuff. That said, I know in the past it's been noted that it is just a good idea to, in general, just kind of like also introduce like in terms of people's limits. I mean, this is a 48-hour game jam. Everyone here is doing this remotely, but in terms of like expectations, I know some people when they do game jams, they have 5 Monster Energies next to them and like a bag of cashews, and they're not leaving their desk until their game is done. I presume we should be a little bit more chill here, but if people are like really into that and really want to go all out and they've dedicated like every minute of this weekend to doing that, that is awesome. But just kind of, I think as we start forming a team, just kind of setting expectations in terms of like, this is how much time I can commit. Let's try and scope the work for whoever is doing what discipline to fit in with like, if we know we can have a programmer working on something for 6 hours, across the 2 days here, let's try and scope whatever they're working on to be reasonably made in like 6 hours, or something approximately resembling that. Or in the same thing with any sound effects or music or narrative. I don't know. We have a narrative category here too, if anyone's interested in like the writing side of things. But yeah, just kind of maybe as we start moving forward for this, just kind of being transparent, I guess, with everyone about like time commitment, availability, especially because we are remote. It's a little different, I guess, when you're in person, but even then you gotta kind of to check it out. So yeah, I really want to get the infrastructure set up here. So we have a game jam channel. I'm gonna post this announcement here with the theme. I mean, what do you all think? Like, do we, in terms of like team size? I mean, we have like a good number of people here. We're also, I presume, going to have more people kind of be interested in this if they see it when we post like the announcements, or just if they see it tonight or tomorrow or just throughout the weekend who might want to jump in. And so we'll probably have some more just people in general interested in jumping in throughout the jam. But yeah, I guess, yeah, what do you all think in terms of, I would like to walk away from here with a very concrete, like, there's someone setting up a GitHub for something. There is like some way, there's like a concrete next step for something. At least one thing. And maybe I don't know if we have a large enough team to branch off and if we would like to extend our roots as well and have multiple projects going on, or and certainly people who want to work solo, of course, that is more than welcome if people are interested in doing that as well. But what do you all think? What do you think about like next steps for moving forward with anything concrete? Do we need to do more brainstorming? Do we want to like flesh out a specific idea? What do you all think?
Well, are there people that are specifically looking to do solo work? Because I do want to see if we have a viable team among us.
I
know.
If there's
Coyote, yeah, you said you wouldn't
okay.
be able to fully commit, right?
Right. So I'm leaning towards solo basically, but I could help out if there is another team out there.
And maybe that'd be something where it's like if there's maybe not like the main mechanic, but like a certain feature that would be scoped to be within like a certain amount of time, right? Like maybe that would be like a good fit for a commitment like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess the people who posted, and we don't need to, I guess, do it all through voice, but for anyone on the Miro, I presume these are also people interested in teams. And certainly if you're not interested in teams, that's totally okay too. But just for the purpose of like kind of matchmaking immediately, because what I'd love to do is for people who are interested in being on teams, figuring out like what are concrete next steps for actually starting production, because unlike last year, I don't remember what we did the year before that. Was that during COVID too? I don't remember. It had been like the week-long jam or something, but this is back to form for actual 48 hours. So time is officially ticking. So I definitely want to make sure that we're on the right path of, if we want to get together and form a real team, that you have the programmers, if we're using Git, someone starts up a repository, we get access to it. People can start cloning that stuff, deciding who's actually like working with the files themselves. Like, do we need to set up like a Google Drive to like exchange files, or can we just kind of pass them along here in Discord if they're small enough? We probably would need some solution, but I'd like to have like concrete next steps and make sure that certainly creatively that everybody feels like they, if they do want to join a team with the people that we have here, that they have made sure that their creative voices are heard and that everybody has kind of like a say in all that stuff. So, any general thoughts on that?
Which part?
All of it.
all of it.
So I'll say my plan for tonight was going to be try and get some sort of 2D tile-based route mechanic going, using Game Maker. And then like if I could get something that I think could be something by tomorrow, I would maybe seek out some music and artist people. So if anyone is like pixel art people, or music and sound effects people, if you're interested, I could put you on a Git, if you give me your email for that, and then follow up tomorrow. Even though the one caveat is I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do. So if you're interested in other people's things, absolutely just maybe tend towards that. But maybe if there's another programmer out there that's going to be working in Unity, they could raise their hand now.
Yeah, do we have any brave soul who wants to? Yeah, do you want to volunteer to like set up a Unity project or?
Well, I'm available for Unity capers.
All right. If one of you, if y'all want to do like a lightsaber battle or something, and figure out who wants to set up like a repository. I feel like it's always, I think, a good start having some kind of project that people can get their hands on, and then digging in and going from there. So, yeah.
Are we looking to do? Are we splitting up into two teams? Or are we looking to do one team?
It sounds like two. It sounds like we'll have at least a Game Maker project and a Unity project.
Okay, cool. And have we settled on themes, or not themes?
Interpretations, yeah.
Yeah, have we settled on interpretations for both of those, or no?
That's a great question. So it sounds like we've kind of heard more about the Game Maker. Any ideas for like a Unity type project, or it could be a similar idea too, but different implementations, or what are people interested in?
What was you said that somebody's doing a Game Maker project? I'm guessing Coyote. I missed it. Sorry, my baby wasn't sleeping.
Right. So yeah, I'll be doing the Game Maker one. I'm gonna work on a 2D tile-based sort of route mechanic tonight, and I'm not sure what the overall thing will be, but it'll be tile-based, spatial, related to the spatial aspect. And I'll see what I can get in terms of route mechanics going on tonight, and then maybe decide whether my two main the things I'm gravitating towards are like the connecting routes, sending messages thing maybe on one side, or like the just growing routes to get to the bottom thing on the other. So
cool. And so then, any other ideas for a Unity-centric project? Would it? Again, I think maybe I like kind of breaking things down into how do we want to interpret the theme? Is it mechanics, like using I like the spatial colonization was the phrase of, like a spatial puzzle game, basically, or using space as a resource for the theme of roots, and like growing roots, but using the space in which they're growing as like a game mechanic. So you can interpret it very mechanically. You can interpret it narratively, right, and build a whatever genre of game you want, using it as a narrative. And the same thing with a setting or visually. As we have illustrated here. So that is a whole other idea. You have narrative, you have visual. You could also, I mean, if you really wanted to do like, if you wanted to lead with like some audio focused, if there was a weird, I know when I was working on a really weird game, we built it around the idea of trying to use binaural audio, like binaural beats, as like because there's all weird science that is probably not real. I don't know. Maybe it's real.
It's. I mean, it's.
It sounds. Yeah, it sounds very skeptical.
It's a bit pseudoscience-y, but I know what you're
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah. We built the entire
switched
game.
my computer microphone, it seems. Okay.
Yeah, we built the entire game around like the concept of audio. So like you could even lead with like if there's a weird, interesting audio theme that you'd want to take the audio and visualize that or interpret that mechanically or something. That would be a really interesting idea too. So I don't know. What are people thinking? Is it? We've talked a lot about like gameplay mechanics and like spatial organization and stuff using roots in that nature, but is that something we'd still want to do in like a Unity project, or would we want to incorporate more elements of like audio or narrative or art, or I don't know if there's any other disciplines. I feel like there's probably not.
On my end, at least, scope is an issue, and the amount of time I have to commit to this is an issue. So I can make sound effects in some degree and can help with putting them into Unity if we're using Fmod. But as far as actually taking an active hand in the design of the game goes, especially with regard to audio, I can fuck around with parameters in Fmod. So I would hesitate to suggest, unless someone else is really crazy about doing something really interesting sound design wise, I'd hesitate to suggest to do that.
Cool. Yeah, something simple, functional sound sounds great. Or I should say audio. Music, of course, can be a whole other thing. You could do it the same way with that. If you really wanted to do an interesting musical composition and use that as a big inspiration. I don't mean to put like audio or music like on the spot. I'm just trying to explore all the other disciplines, right?
I am here for you.
Correct.
So I'll say as a programmer, like doing anything that's sort of like that game you're showing, like Prune, where it's like kind of like physics and it's growing and it just sounds like a lot of math to me. That I don't know if I'm gonna be able to wrap my head around in 48 hours. So I don't know, unless somebody here is pretty good with that and can assure me it's not that bad. I'm not sure how crazy I can get with some of this, like a puzzle game, essentially.
Yeah, I can confirm that sounds like a lot of math.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I would love to learn and have under my tool belt, but I just worry about the time constraints for learning something like that.
Yeah, and there is no. I mean, again, I don't think I'll have the capacity to contribute too much in a project like this weekend. But I mean, certainly doing anything trying to simulate, if you're not doing like a tile-based thing or something, even like from an art perspective, it seems like it would be quite challenging because it seems like it would involve a lot of tech art, right? A lot of weird shaders or like procedural mesh generation or procedural art generation or something. So maybe it doesn't make sense to try and like to do a mechanic like that in a Unity project. So like maybe we move away from the idea of trying to like use it in a very literal mechanical sense. Maybe we start thinking of it more as again like there's some interesting cool ideas for like narrative things or as like a setting or things of that nature. Anyone have any thoughts on that?
That's more what I'm leaning towards. Sort of, like the setting or narrative based on roots. Just because, if for 48 hours learning the new mechanic like that might be a little, I don't know, a little much. If it was a 2-week one, I'd be totally down. But I don't know. Anybody disagree? Agree?
That sounds. I don't know if I'm.
Well,
Makes sense to me.
That
keeping
makes
scope
sense. Yeah.
small is good.
So what you maybe could do if like I totally get not wanting to do a ton of vector math in a 48-hour game jam. I totally get that. But you could do maybe you if you wanted to still do Unity and you wanted to still do 2D or 3D, but even if you wanted to do 3D, maybe you could do something where the player has less input on how the roots are growing, and it's really more of a like a visual narrative thing, like Tom was sort of like alluding to. So it's just like maybe it's a predetermined like little story, whereas something starts as a little plant growing out of the ground, and it grows into something over time with like I said, I there's this relatively, I'm not sure how, I haven't gone through the whole tutorial, but there's like this grow shader tutorial thing that you could maybe set up to just so that there is no input from the player, and there's just sort of like a set path of this plant growing over time, and you tell a little story in that amount of time, right?
Do like a nice giving tree type story. That would be. I like the giving tree. It's very sad. Do we have anyone interested in leaning into narrative specifically? Who'd want to do and narratively, like either as like an overarching story where it's just like the general story, or like dialogue writing? Because I know for me those are two very different disciplines. But anyone interested specifically in trying to like really on this project do like a narrative job? It's okay if not, because we would just we can just not have it be like a super narrative focused project. If not, we can use it as a general theme or like a general setting.
Or you could just swap out the narrative for just like chill noises with Fmod, right? Just an ambient thing.
Yeah. If anyone, I was gonna say, I also like haven't been reading the chat. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to like write a bunch of stuff. I'm just now catching up. Yeah, because I mean, certainly, again, the theme is such an evocative, open word that we can, do whatever interpretation that we really want with it. It sounds like maybe doing like a really super dialogue heavy or like super narrative focusing might not be like maybe like the right genre to go with here either. And so then start with an idea that's a simple design and see if we can grow it from there. That's actually
see what you there.
That's actually a very cool doing like a meta commentary on the theme itself and doing like having the production itself be evocative of like the theme is very interesting. Oh man, what was the name of the thing? Oh, I'd used it like in another production even. It was like get history visualize branch. Wait, what? I need like a here, this thing. Oh wait, that was supposed to be a video, I thought. That's really sad. Oh, this thing. Oh, Gorse. This makes me think of it. This is someone from my college senior project had used this in like a senior project presentation because they were like, "Oh, it looks cool." It does look very cool. This is the Git Git repository. Like it visualizes Git history. And so it visualizes anyone makes a new branch. It visualizes like all the commits or the pushes that people were doing. And it's really beautiful. I tried to kind of recreate this in a certain way in one of my projects, but it wasn't anywhere close to being good. But yeah, just visually, this is again. I think that the challenge with trying to do anything where you're interpreting it, I don't know how you would, as an artist. It's very tech art, right? Like it's very to make things grow in a certain way is kind of very challenging topic. It looks really cool. But yeah, any other ideas in terms of like, is there a simple theme that we can kind of, I mean, looking back at the Miro board, I mean, certainly we can look at some like general like narrative ideas or like general setting ideas or character ideas, and go from there. It'd be nice, I think, to figure out like a genre. That's what I'm trying to kind of like okay, so if we know we're not going to do like a text adventure because we don't have like someone writing all the text, all right, so let's not do that. Let's maybe not do a game where it's like spatial management using roots because that just sounds like technologically too complicated for us. Like, is there a mechanic or like a certain direction? It can be simple. Is there like maybe adding an additional limitation? There's also the modifiers. I haven't looked at those. Is there like a genre that would be interesting to try and explore using this theme?
I mean, as I said, make the soundtrack all kazoos and then we can talk.
There you go. Okay, so you start with kazoos. I have no idea how you would use that. I'll be honest. To guide the rest of the game. Does anyone have any other ideas?
As far as the audio ones that are actually kind of interesting in a way that is more open-ended, one of the things that it suggests is to make the entire soundtrack out of things that are within your desk space, more or less, that are right around you. If you want something that can be a really open-ended prompt, look at the things around you at this moment, and see how those can be incorporated into the game. That's just a thought there. And if it does not, and if nothing comes of that particular seed, then that is certainly fine.
I have a fake baby cactus in a sloth mug that may or may not have roots. I don't know, I'll be completely honest. I think the flowers are fake, but I don't know if the actual cactus is fake. So I do potentially, I think the soil is real, so maybe, I haven't watered it in like years, so I mean, it's a cactus, but that has roots. A computer has roots, or we talked again about like computer and like root access or root something.
So
yeah.
I feel kind of lame doing this because this was the idea I wrote down, but I really am I don't know, I'm cracking up at the root beer mafia thing, and I think root beer is not something that many people will be thinking about when they think roots. But I'd like to incorporate something like tree roots, maybe even have a hacking part that does actually deal with rooting. Like just throw all this root stuff in it somehow. I don't know what type of game that would be really, but
just make a WarioWare game with a bunch of root puns.
Yeah, like just a whole bunch of root puns. Just throw every root thing we could think of. Add family roots to that too. Add, just I don't know. We could even have root zombies coming out. I don't know. Like just have everything just kind of mashed together.
Yeah, I love the idea of I don't know anything about, again, I like can't drink root beer because it tastes like toothpaste to me. But maybe that's like a thing. I don't know. I love the idea of using that as like a theme.
What if like maybe like so I went to there's this park in California that it's like a Wild West kind of like cowboy town park, and they actually have like a root beer like pub that you go to. You can get root beer there because I think it's like I don't know, it's some kind of national park. I don't think they can serve alcohol, so you just buy like root beer there. And I don't know, maybe instead of a mafia, something like a root beer saloon, and I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out, like root monsters outside of it. I don't know. And you're trying to save your family and your house that has roots there. I don't know.
I'm actually going to be signing off. Keep me up to date on what's going on.
Yep.
And
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like we have 2 projects going. I love this idea, by the way, in the chat. I'm just seeing it here with a pretty heavy dialogue game with a dialogue root instead of tree. Maybe have a dialogue history browser where you're piecing the mystery together and it's displayed as roots. It reminds me very much of any of the Sam Barlog games, right? Her Story, and what's the game that came out last year that was amazing? That was like my favorite game.
Immortal.
Is it Immortal? Immortality?
It might be
something.
Immortals, plural. I can't. I've wanted to play it forever.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Oh, it's fascinating. It's so cool. But yeah, any kind of like playing with non-linear. I mean, it's not even non-linear storytelling. I mean, it kind of is, I guess. It's just like you jump into the story. And it's like an open world story, if that almost makes sense. It's a very interesting design. But yeah, using the actual structure of a story and or having that be pieced together with like browser history or something, if you wanted to go with like a tech theme, that sounds amazing as well. So yeah, there's an idea for people. But yeah, I mean, deciding, I guess, if if it is leaning more towards like kind of a narrative interpretation or something, like would we want to do something lighter and sillier and just kind of go like a root beer theme, or like a some kind of pun filled experience, or do we want to do something more serious, or what are people thinking? How are people feeling about all this?
You're doing the root beer.
Indicates root.
I would say it's a 2D game, and it's more like I do like the whole beer tapper type of thing, where basically you're just trying to send a root beer down, and you just have to avoid obstacles, which is things that would stop the root beer from getting there. Like cops or someone who just something that goes by, like obstacles. It would be your basic, It would be a very basic type of game. I don't know what you call it. I wanted to say puzzle, but that's not right. What the hell would a beer tapper be known as? Just a game, huh? Just a functional.
Yeah.
What do you call it? What genre is that?
In my brain, I don't know why. In my brain, this is probably completely different. But I was thinking like a downwell type thing, or like a reverse doodle jump almost. I was thinking more like platformer for some reason, like as you were talking about that, but that's probably not what you were saying.
I think it would be platformer. I think it's just like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm even thinking of something worse than that. Back to the Future.
Oh,
the one thing where, yeah, he's trying to send all the drinks to stop the bullies from getting to him. But instead, like you're trying to actually throw them down. I guess you could put them down like loopy. You could do like a plinko type thing where you're dropping the beers down, so it's like going through a tree trunk in order to get to people who want the drink.
If anyone can make a plinko and or a Peggle type clone, I have wanted to play a Peggle clone for forever, and I feel like there's actually not that many out there. And I love Peggle. I don't know how it would fit with Roots, but if anyone would want to make a Peggle type game, I would play that so hard.
Peggle is Peggle kind of like Plinko?
Yeah.
Okay, so
let me pull up Peggle.
I know there was one that came out recently where you're a goblin. Is that the one is that Peggle?
That could be. I feel like I saw a kind of like spin on.
Oh, Peglin. Peglin is the name of the game.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a spoof kind of almost of a.
You
Peggle,
could do that where you're instead of the pegs being just pegs. They are roots, right? But that is that's like I would think that's like a physics based thing, right? In if you were to do it.
And dynamic music forward different instruments we get layered in the game went on. Each time a secret is revealed, dialogue new when it enters the backing track. Yeah, that's what Immortality kind of does, or Immortal or whatever the game is. It definitely relies on audio cues to kind of layer in different audio tracks and different instruments and things as there's narrative reveals happening. And they use it almost in a gameplay way because this game is so cool. I think it's Immortal game log, but I just have to pull it up. It is Immortality. Yeah.
It might just be Immortality, yeah.
Immortality. The mechanics of Immortality are, and it's gonna look so weird because it's like a movie thing, but you scrub back and forth, and then you click on something, they set up, like, I don't even want to know how many buttons they set up, and when you click on it, it takes you to like something that matches somewhere else, and so you can click on like a lamp and it will take you to like another lamp, and there's like 3 different movies or something, and so you can click on a character and it would take you to like them like in another movie or another whatever, and there's this whole story about the actress, and I don't even know how to begin talking about this story because it gets very complicated, but this game is so cool. It's amazing. But just reading that comment made me think of this because it uses similar things where as you're going through, it'll start giving you kind of audio hints to like hidden things. And also if you play things backwards, some things like the way that you play through time changes like the story you're getting, and it's incredible. It really is. Anyway, certainly would be quite tricky to do anything mechanically. I think it took them like years and years to do something like that, but certainly taking notes on like the use of audio and things, and how it relates to narrative and everything is very cool for sure.
Hey, how we doing?
We're good. How is everything going in person?
We're chilling. They're talking about themselves and getting more acquainted with the kind of ideas they're gonna want to work with.
All right.
With the ones they're gonna split into, so they're kind of I think they're gonna like, amoeba osmosis to their own teams.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like, Kanan, we're gonna have probably two like main type projects. One being made in Game Maker, and again to varying scopes and everything, but one kind of leaning more towards Game Maker and one leaning more towards Unity. It sounds like we have kind of an idea for like a Game Maker project where it'd be like a tile-based, like spatial puzzle type design.
You got a lot of ideas like that here too.
Yeah. So we've been talking a lot about like you can interpret this game very mechanically, or the theme very mechanically, right? Where it's like you're trying to control roots or grow roots or whatever. The tricky part about that is like technologically, that's a very hard challenge.
Technologically taxing.
Yeah, well, and also like from like an artist perspective too, trying to create art that can be like procedurally generating or something. It seems like very tricky. Yeah, so I think we're kind of leaning more towards maybe for the second Unity or the Unity project, doing something that's maybe more using roots as like a narrative thing or like a setting or something of that nature. I don't think we've really nailed down exactly what we want to do with it yet, but
one idea that we had here was kind of like an idea for like a city that's growing and like just kind of like infrastructure kind of like just growing around. And it probably doesn't have to be super technologically advanced, because you could just take the idea where you have the city kind of like growing, and like so that would just be obstacles, and you would literally be the route, and you're trying to like just dip and dodge around obstacles, So it would pretty much just be like Snake, except like instead of being in a box, your box is these cities, and these buildings that's popping up. You gotta avoid getting them. So like
yeah. We had an idea here, and I don't know if this would be super hard. The idea of like, I think there were a few ideas where it was like Snake, but yeah, it would start just branching off, and you would have to control all the branches at the same time. I don't know technologically if that would be like out of scope for something. To me, that feels a little bit, because I imagine that the branches wouldn't be like as complicated as like an actual thing, as an actual root system. But
you could separate it out to separate controls. Say like it's like you have 3 roots, you have 3 buttons. Yeah, that'll be hard for like controls, for like controller probably, but not for keyboard. You could just like, each key like QWERTY, like W, and like if you press Q, it'll like switch directions. You press it again and it'll switch to another direction.
I love the idea of a game that just it starts with like using only 2 keys on your keyboard, and then you just have to use more and more keys simultaneously on your keyboard. Like as it's branching off, you have to like use and you're just eventually just like slamming your entire keyboard.
That's how a lot of typing games work.
Those games are funny, like the kind of games that the entertainment is like a ridiculous control scheme, like Surgeon Simulator and stuff.
Yeah.
I for one of the Ludum Dares, I can't remember what the theme was even, but I made a game called Radioactive Rumble that was like Punch Out, except you were a mutant who kept growing more arms out of himself, and each of your arms was tied to a random key on the keyboard. So by the end, you'd just be like slamming your keyboard down, trying to punch with the right button.
So what? I need some more. I need some more ideas. I need some more inspiration here. What is everyone thinking? What is everyone wanting to do?
I saw something Ratchet and Clank flash on your screen earlier, and I've been playing some Deep Rock Galactic, and it got me thinking about like a rail grinding mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've always liked those in games, and you could just get an easy pass by making those routes.
A Tarzan game. Boom. Do it.
Mmm.
Do it. A Tarzan game. You're Tarzan,
Tarzan.
and
Grinding
you're
on
just going
trees.
around trees. Yeah.
I do like
Yeah,
that. That's
that'd be fun.
interesting.
That'd be fun.
That would be very cool. Swinging around is amazing.
Yeah. And I feel like that kind of game, it would be technologically challenging enough to where it's like it would take some time to do like the grinding mechanic, but like after that, other mechanics would be fairly simple, and then you could have like just a nice little portfolio piece as a programmer at least, you know, and then that's a thought.
What if we did? What if we combine that? I can't get away from this root beer mafia thing. What if we? What if we did like you're trying to deliver the root beer. You run a root beer
I'm
speakeasy,
actually going to
and you're
downstairs.
like you have to travel routes in a tree to get to like you got to like deliver the root beer to something.
Mmm.
Just trying to get around a tree as fast as you can.
Yeah.
I love the idea of delivering root beer to like a bunch of squirrels who are getting wasted on it.
Oh yeah, it's like a wedding or something.
Give some
Or like
more
a-
opportunity for risk reward, being able to do like route planning to try to deliver stuff faster.
Ooh, this is maybe like a little beyond the scope of what you're talking about, but did anyone play Teardown?
I don't think so.
It is a crazy physics simulation game, basically.
Yeah.
Where it's a heist game and a physics game, where like the whole thing is like you have X amount of seconds to heist all this stuff, and you have to pre-plan your route by like breaking stuff and causing buildings to fall down and lean against each other, and it's you could, if you had more time, probably do a really cool iteration of like a route planning game where you're like, you're it's a forest and you're growing, roots or branches or whatever between trees to like plan your root beer delivery route.
Yeah, that could be I think that would be a direction you would take once you have the core mechanics down. That'd be an interesting addition.
I love the idea of swinging. I love the idea of like vines. Are vines roots, or like vines that Tarzan would be swinging? Are those roots? What are they?
Vines are their own thing. They're a plant that grows on things.
Pretend they're roots.
What are those like giant things that hang down?
Like vines,
like
right?
trees?
I don't know.
Are they vines?
If they're a plant though, maybe are vines the roots of a plant called that we all colloquially call vines?
Yeah, like these things aren't those are like kind of roots, right? Tree vine root? Wait, is a tree vine a root?
Kind of the vision I have in my head for this game would be like you have like a Crash Bandicoot camera perspective, but it would be like 3D, and you kind of be like rotating around the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But the camera would always stay like straight on with your character.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be trying to think how you do like a cylindrical plane of play. I'm sure it's probably like a little bit of setup, but once you get it, it's probably like pretty easy to do platforming or anything in that setup.
I think that would be that hard.
Just have your camera locked to like a cylinder.
Yeah, you'd have the camera probably locked, and then you just make sure that the player is rotating around it. Like it's moving, it's rotating while it moves, maybe? I don't know. To think about that.
I do know that swinging on any rope type thing. I mean, that would be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure are assets, probably both free and paid, that would let you do something like that. But that would be a very juicy interaction. Anything with like a stretchy, like any physicsy, stretchy kind of thing like that. Ooh, that feel great.
When you say cylindrical field of play, you mean like old school like Tempest or something, like rolling around?
That would be another interesting. I was thinking like almost like a. Did anyone play Resogun?
No.
Game long play.
I was
I think a good way to
100%
describe it.
picturing Tempest. Whoever said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
like
was thinking
yeah,
Tempest.
yeah, like this.
Oh.
So
Okay.
the entire gameplay is like on a cylinder, basically. So it is. It's not top down. It's from like the side perspective almost.
Yeah.
But a similar
Sonic
type.
colors.
Yeah, this game is so this is like a voxel based game too, and so like there's a lot of destruction and a lot of very shiny particles, and it's very pretty. I think it was Housemark. Housemark, they know what they're doing. Very good. But yeah, Tempest, certainly. What's Tempest gameplay? Yeah. What's I don't know if it was a VR only game. I feel like it wasn't VR, but it was very directly reminiscent. Was it even the same creator? Forgetting now.
Are you thinking of Rez or Polybius?
Tempest is so cool when you think about how early it came out.
Oh yeah. It still stands out as very original, very unique. There are very few games that try and do something like that, and just the way that it portrays space. Oh, so interesting.
Tom, were you thinking of Rez or Polybius before? Maybe.
Polybius game. Yeah. I think.
So it's gonna be hard because Polybius is also an urban legend game that then got made into an actual game. This is not the one I was thinking
no,
of.
that's not. What?
Yeah, there are at least like 4 different versions of Polybius, I think.
Oh yeah, it was an urban legend, so it wouldn't surprise me if there are tons of games called Polybius.
Oh no, this probably like isn't what I'm thinking, and I'm not thinking of Rez. What am I thinking of? It was like a. I feel like it was a PSVR Tempest like game. Maybe it is. What is it? No, this wasn't what I was thinking. No, it's not Thumper. What on earth am I thinking of? I don't. Maybe it just doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. There are lots of games to reference, but yeah, I mean that all sounds really cool. Does that sound interesting? For
Thumper is a good reference though too.
Yeah, Thumper.
If we're going for like
God.
on rails kind of thing.
Thumper. It like keeps flashing like in my mind what this game is, and I can't think of what it is. I know someone has described it, or distinctly remember someone was describing it like it feels like you're being shot down the barrel of a gun. And I was like, yes, that's like a really good way of framing it. What is the name of that game? I'm gonna Google on this one. PSVR Tempest like game.
Neon White?
No. There. Gun. I think it's a rhythm game.
Well, anyway, is the which one of these do we think is it? Is it like because I've heard somebody said Crash Bandicoot, somebody said Tom, you mentioned the cylinder thing and showed us the voxel style shooter.
Yeah, Resogun.
Crash
What do
Bandicoot
we?
is the first thing that came to mind for like a 2D 3D hybrid.
Yeah, like that kind of view of like running at the camera, or away from the camera.
Yeah, I think it would probably what I had in my head is probably more like kind of like a side view, but you could kind of like original Crash, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
because it
could probably
switches. I know it
get a little
switches
bit
between-
more out of the 3D, like for jumping between rails and stuff, by having the camera like kind of trail behind the character a little bit, so you can get some more depth. But you can also see, yeah, like in this where it's the
Gotcha.
level design is fairly 2D, but you still have 3D elements.
Yeah, like 2.5.
Yeah.
Here's like
And I think
where
that'd be good for like if you look up like Ratchet and Clank rail grinding stuff, where like you have to jump between rails to dodge obstacles that are like on your path. If anyone's familiar with that.
Yeah, that new game. Oh, I'm never gonna find like an example. Hi-Fi Rush. If anyone's seen Hi-Fi Rush, very good
Oh, I
game.
did see it had some grinding.
Yeah, it's got a
games to
similar
watch.
type mechanic.
I think
yeah.
Sonic Frontiers also has some sections.
It does look a little bit Ratchet and Clank inspired.
I think
very
Sonic
rare.
Frontiers has some sections like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Yep. It does sound, by the way, like someone is interested in I think it was Ada or I don't know if they're still here, but they set up a Discord for a point and click, maybe eldritchy horror dialogue heavy game. So if anyone's interested in going in that direction,
I don't feel like I'd be able to contribute other than basic technical stuff to that.
Yeah. But that sounds like something someone is going to be working on as well. So cool. We'll have like a cool game maker, like spatial puzzle type, space management type thing. Maybe like a horror narrative type thing. And it sounds to me like maybe moving where it's how have what we've been talking about, like how does that tie in with Roots as a theme? Can someone just remind me?
I think we're delivering root beer to squirrels around
Root
a tree.
beer to squirrels, that's right. Oh, I love that. And so that would we consider that like more platformy, like platform challenge type game?
Probably.
I think of what that would look like. I mean, let's say you run up the tree like the Crash Bandicoot. You're thinking like wrapping around, and then would you just go up? Would you go to different trees? Like go from one tree to the next?
I think the way I see it right now would be one tree, but you'd make it would be a fairly vertical game.
And then what would something like attack you? Would you just be jumping up the whole way?
Well, I think it would be mainly like riding around on the roots using the grinding mechanic. I think the way of like taking major shortcuts, I think we mentioned, could be a swinging mechanic, but like you have the risk of not landing where you want, which could cause you to lose a life. I guess could be a resource for how you lose. Or it could just be like a point system where you get points for delivering the root beer, and then you lose points for hitting obstacles or falling off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when you're.
Flamingo's headquarter. Oh, boy. Oops.
Oh, this is new stuff. Is this from like 4 or something?
I don't know. They've done so many remakes and remasters.
Yeah, you really
the
have.
PS4 remake. I mean, this is specifically from the PS4 remake, which you're watching now, but they
Yeah.
might have it in the PS5 one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they have some sections. It's a staple for them. I was trying to, because they do have certainly sections where it goes in a big long circle.
I know what
And
you're talking about, yeah, but it might be hard to
kind
find
of,
a clip.
I mean, kind of like this, but like it becomes more
Yeah.
just,
It switches the camera.
yeah, more like vertical platforming almost. When you're like on a rail type thing. You know what I feel like? I think we started talking about all this when Kane had mentioned Tarzan. I feel like Tarzan video game long
Well, there's
play.
definitely some out there.
I feel like I remember playing this game on PlayStation and it having right here. Wait a minute. Are you for real?
Oh yeah.
Funny.
That's what we're making right there.
There it is. So y'all make this and you just have to mention that this is like directly inspired by the PS1 Disney Tarzan video game. Because no other video games have ever done this, of course. So yeah, it's directly inspired by the Tarzan video game. And then there it goes. It's quite ahead of its time. It's very like, it's almost like, I don't know, Crash probably did this too. A lot of this same stuff. I don't know if Crash has like a grinding slidey sections. They probably do. It's not super unique, I guess, but anyway,
Yeah, looks kind of fun.
that was a deep memory that this just awakened. Buried way, way far down. Anyway, that sounds really cool. Yeah, and it sounds like in terms of theming and stuff, there's so many cool things you could do with a lot of funny stuff with like little squirrels getting their root beer, getting happy on their root beer, and if it's like a delivery, it reminds me of the pizza delivery mini game from Spider-Man 2 or whatever. If everyone played the licensed video game of that, just make a licensed video game with some IP. It'll be okay. No one will see you. Yeah, but like a delivery thing
from the Spider-Man game. The pizza delivery music.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that sounds really cool. That sounds like it would be a really fun project. Movement heavy, kind of platforming, lots of room for fun art, animation.
So the game is a platformer where you play as a root beer supplying squirrel who is dodging the root beer the root beer mafia and scurrying around on tree roots to deliver the root beer. Did I summarize it correctly?
I think there's got to be some way that like a mafia is like trying to stop you or something. Like they don't like you delivering root beer, or I don't know, or the
root beer
cops somehow. I don't know.
Will stop you. Yeah.
What's like an enemy of squirrels? Is there like a rival? Like,
oh, totally.
Like another like woodland creature. Like
I feel like it's got to be chipmunks. They're like you know, fighting for the most adorable creature or whatever, and they're
the chipmunk mafia going after the root beer distributors.
I could definitely get down with trying to make some very menacing looking chipmunks in 3D.
That sounds really fun.
Give them all mafia hats too.
Yeah.
The is it fedora? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds amazing to me. I would be very excited to play this.
To think of how to get the point across that he's a mafia squirrel or a
You got to do
Yeah,
like
wait,
a.
is it the Squirrel Mafia or the Chipmunk Mafia?
or chipmunk. Yeah. Also,
It could be both. Why not?
I don't know.
In
We
my
can
head,
figure
they're all
that
wearing
out.
bowler hats.
Yeah, bowler hats. Yeah.
Maybe they got Tommy guns.
I feel like you got to do like a Godfather thing or something.
I'm having a hard time picturing how this would work with the like the runner sliding and be like like tell a mafia story or a root beer prohibition story. I don't know.
Can anyone think of a platformer that goes along like a cylindrical type shape like that?
Closest thing that comes to mind for me is Fez, but that's not a very good
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there were some boss levels like that in a few things, but I know it was like a Sonic game with boss levels that went around in the cylinder.
That would be a Sonic thing to do, yeah.
It would.
I mean, this looks cool. This is probably like a
The Mysterio boss battle in PS1 Spider-Man was in a cylinder.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's true.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This looks cool. Huh. Oh, and there's like rings, so you can go on the inner or the outer ring. Yeah, if you wanted to play with depth in terms of like, if you didn't just want to do like, that would be interesting, like switching branches or something, like going back
Rings
and
of a
forth.
tree.
Yeah, no, I kind of like this. This is what is this called?
This is cool.
This is Orbital Bullet. I just googled like I don't know, cylindrical platformer, and this came up. I've never heard of it, but
it looks cool.
Okay, so now we got a cylinder. So we'll borrow from like elevator action, and where you have to go through the the roots of the tree in a cylindrical way, and steal the root beer from the chipmunks.
It's a heist.
You gotta go like you gotta go like up and then down. I don't know.
Call it Root Beer Robin Hood.
Root Beer Robin Hood.
I love the idea of making the cutest looking animals, chipmunks, or whatever. They're like the worst, like the villains.
Yeah, they're definitely the bad guys. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Like, wait, we'll go back to that. How are they doing that? It's
That's
like
super interesting.
is it like a lit sprite, or is it like a low poly thing with like a pixelized post-processing effect on it? How are they doing that?
Looks like a sprite to my eye, but there's a lot of compression going on, so it's hard to tell.
Very interesting. All right.
You never see it like it always just snaps to the other side, right?
Yeah.
There's no middle.
I mean, certainly, again, I don't know how. If I was making, I don't know how I would go about making like. You know what I feel? I feel like no, that's different. I was gonna say I feel like almost I've seen. What is it like like some Unity pack, like some popular Unity package that's like all about like a curvy world or something like that. That's about like taking even like a straight thing and deforming it along like a cylinder or a sphere or something like that. I'm just trying to think like technologically, because where my brain goes is how you would go about like creating a character controller that would work on a plane like this. It's certainly possible. I think it would be a very doable challenge to solve for this game jam, but it's an interesting challenge, and I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not too many games actually that do this.
Well, the character
think
just
it's like
remains
a-
centered, so could you just
use,
spin
like,
the
the-
background instead?
Yeah, true. I was thinking more you just like guide the movement of the character just using like the equation for the diameter of circle you're using, but
Word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely rotate the object, or you could, or like the tree, rotate that, or you could. I feel like you could just have you could probably use the rotate around function in some capacity,
Yeah.
and just have the player like he's just moving left and right, but you're always just like rotating him around it. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go grab a bite with a friend from out of town, but I'll be back in a couple hours.
Okay, so you're a mafia squirrel or chipmunk, whatever. We'll
Yes.
pick one, and whatever the opposite of that is your enemy, and you're trying to steal root beer from the competing mafia. Top of the tree. Or should you be going like? Maybe you should be going down to the roots to get the root beer.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Maybe you're going down instead of up.
Well, I think you'd
Yeah, I
go
like that.
down and then you'd have to extract it back up.
Right.
It'd be
Gotta
like
go down to the roots and bring it back up to the treetops. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know, you have some kind of gun. That maybe shoots. I want to say it shoots roots, but I don't know. Wow, look at how they have that. That's really cool how they have that like line that like shows you the path.
Yeah, the trajectory.
Really cool. Something like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, this presentation style is very interesting. I think this would be really cool.
We could just get like one good level with this mechanic.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Well, and I feel like that would be kind of the nice thing with the scope of this too, is I feel like you wouldn't, because it's cylindrical, there's not like, there's a lot of real estate that you get from just going around in a circle, but you don't necessarily need to generate a whole lot of art assets for that. Because there's just like the one big art asset that's kind of like in the middle, or it's just like lining everything. And then the background can be like they have here, this very, very abstract, right? Like there's not too much happening in the background. And so then it's just all about like going up and down. It's the verticality of it. But I feel like within the scope of a game jam, I feel like that's a pretty clever use of level design, because then you're not having to design like a big sprawling 3D space that's like expansive. Like it's on rails almost. It is basically a 2D platformer, just the perspective is warped, which is really interesting. Yeah, I think this idea is really, really cool. Again, I don't think I'll be able to contribute too much in the development capacity for this weekend, but I would love to play this. I would be like so excited to see how it turns out. So
that's a lot. Oh. 48 hours.
Yeah.
I've never done a 48-hour jam. This is
yeah, it'd be fast.
It'd be intense.
Very fast. Well, I feel
That's
like
we're
that's
gonna
it.
do
Yeah,
stuff
we
with
we have to
kids
get
this
started
weekend,
like
so-
now, right? So
Yeah,
that's
basically.
that's what I want to try and kind of encourage, is that for anyone here, like, you know, it is only 48 hours. So usually
Yeah.
we kind of get things kicked off. We have the theme, we got some ideas going.
So who wants to
so
work
yeah.
on this, and who's what's your expertises and
I'm pulling up squirrel references right now so I can start building a character model.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. Okay, so you're 3D artist
I-
or
I know we got another artist in here though too, so I'm happy
Okay.
to.
Oh, now I see.
put
Yeah,
up
now
the
I
work
see
if-
your name on there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
if we can get like I don't know if we have a more programmer focused person who'd want to take up the mantle of creating like a Unity project and just like having something for people to any other people involved in the programming and development side of things.
Yeah, I can do something. I can do that.
Cool. That would be great. Just so we can get started. And I mean, we can. So again, if it makes sense, if it would be helpful for people who want to continue with the root beer rating game, I don't know, call it something cute and clever. If it makes sense and people want like a dedicated Discord channel here in the Field Game Mechanics to keep talking about this, or if y'all just want to keep using the Game Jam channel, that is totally fine too.
Yeah, I think we'd want our own channel. I mean, so far, is it just me and Jess, or anybody else want to jump in?
Well, thank you, Tom, for Root Beer Raid, because that's a pretty good name. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm all about alliteration. Every game, I like to use some alliteration.
Root Beer Raider, yeah.
Root Beer Raider, yeah.
What was that? What was that game that you were playing again?
Oh, I don't even know.
Did it say? It just
or the orbital bullet one. This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, can you send that so we have that as reference?
Yeah, I'll just send this. I don't know if this is from Alpha Beta Gamer, so I wonder if this even ever came out. Because they just cover like pre-release material. So, let me. I'll put this in the Game Jam channel here. Or actually, you know what? Let me just create that channel here. Let me just create a new channel. New text channel. We're gonna call it Root Beer. Do I know how to spell root beer? Root Beer Raiders. And y'all, I think, should have the ability of changing that anytime. But for now, just to have that, and then here's that cool platformer reference I pulled up tonight. Let's stick it in there. Can y'all confirm? Can you see that new Discord channel? Root Beer Raiders.
I see it.
I do see it. Yep, I see it.
Yay! And can someone try posting just to see like if anyone has write and read permission? Cool. Perfect. Cool.
Just me and Jess. Anybody else want to join in?
Yeah. Anyone?
I guess it's just me and Jess.
And certainly feel free. We'll have people, I'm sure, throughout tonight / this weekend. Again, I need to go make this post, finish writing this post and sending it for the big announcement, pinging everyone and stuff. So I'll do that, and hopefully we have more people join in throughout the weekend. But it sounds like we have like a good amount of games here. We have, this cool platforming thing. We have like a spatial puzzle tile-based thing. We've got like a cool horror dialogue story-driven game. And was that it? I think that was it. And then whatever else all the people working in person are doing as well. So lots of cool stuff here. Definitely let me know if there's anything that I can do like on the Discord administrative side, if you all need voice chats or anything. Also, you are more than welcome and very much encouraged, everyone here, to continue talking in this. I think we have like 1 billion. Do you all also see the Jam Breakout ones as well? The Jam Breakout channels?
I see them. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
see.
you're free to use any voice channels, of course, any channel you want. Everything is open all the time. So use whatever resources you need to stay in touch. But yeah, I would suggest for anyone who wants to participate in the jam to start working on something tonight, like to take the first baby step tonight, because the time is going to be ticking. It's going to pass really, really quickly. So I'd recommend just jump in, just do a little bit of something, a sketch or something small, just get the ball rolling, and yeah, we'll see what everyone comes up with. I think we're going to be kind of jumping on a stream. I'll try and certainly make it on Sunday, I believe at 7 p.m. to kind of recap all the results. I'm going to post in the thing as well, but it'd be a good idea to also just make sure you're registered on the Philly Game Mechanics. I think I have it here. Yeah, the like Global Game John site. Everyone want to make sure that they're registered here, so you can actually submit your games on the thing, and it will be all official, which is really cool, because then we can go back years and years from now, which I've done in the past, and look at like previous years jams and all the entries and what everyone made. So it's really good for like an an archival sense and all that stuff. So yeah, that's probably the next step for everyone. Let me know, of course, if there's any support that either myself or Kanan can support you all with. And yeah, we'll go from there. Any questions?
I'm all good.
All good. Cool. Well, best of luck, everyone. I'm going to break off for now. I'd love to see anyone's progress. If anyone at all is working on anything, just posting in any of the channels here, I'll be watching this weekend. So best of luck, everyone. Stay in touch. Happy Game Jam.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
See you,
Jeff,
everyone.
I'm gonna be in the channel. I'm gonna try to set the project up tonight, and I don't know, work
Sounds
on
good.
the control around the rotating around.
I will see what I can do with some 3D models and
All right.
try to get them going.
Yeah. Cool.